Welcome back my channel. In the bustling year of 1984, a small copper coin quietly entered circulation across America, largely unnoticed by the millions of hands it would pass through. Little did most realize that this seemingly ordinary penny, minted with precision and intention, would one day become a hidden gem among collectors, a silent witness to history, and a potential fortune tucked away in pockets and drawers. As the nation pulsed with the energy of technological advancements, political shifts, and cultural milestones, the humble 1984 1-cent coin carried on its simple mission, representing value, embodying tradition, and reflecting the spirit of a nation built on perseverance. Crafted under the enduring image of President Abraham Lincoln, whose stoic profile graced the obverse, this coin echoed more than a century of American resilience and progress. The design, familiar yet profound, featured Lincoln's likeness sculpted with remarkable detail by Victor David Brenner, a tribute to one of America's greatest leaders. This portrait had remained essentially unchanged since its introduction in 1909, and by 1984, it had become a deeply entrenched symbol in the everyday life of Americans. Yet, beyond its face value and routine use, something special lurked within certain 1984 pennies, variations, errors, and subtle imperfections that would ignite a fire in the hearts of collectors decades later. The story of the 1984 1-cent coin is not just about minting metal, it's about the dance between perfection and imperfection, the quest for rarity amidst the ordinary. At the Philadelphia Mint, where many of these coins were born, the presses ran tirelessly, churning out millions to meet the demands of commerce. Yet even in such a streamlined process, the human element, ever so slight, introduced possibilities for uniqueness. A doubled ear on Lincoln's portrait, for example, would become one of the most famous varieties of this year, thrilling numismatists who spotted it under magnification. In the numismatic community, the 1984 double-die obverse penny quickly gained legendary status. Unlike most minor errors that go unnoticed, this variety was visible even to the naked eye if one looked closely enough. Lincoln's ear appeared almost shadowed, an extra curve giving an unmistakable double image that set these coins apart. A simple error, yes, but one with the power to transform a mere cent into a coveted treasure, commanding thousands, and in pristine condition, tens of thousands, of dollars at auction. Collectors today understand the significance of quality and condition when it comes to the 1984 1-cent coin. Coins graded as MS65 or higher are especially sought after, with their shimmering, untouched surfaces telling a story of careful preservation against the odds. After all, these coins were made to be spent, tossed into cash registers, jingling in pockets, passed hand to hand without a second thought. For one to survive the decades in near-perfect condition is nothing short of miraculous. The story of this coin also extends beyond its double-die variety. Even standard 1984 pennies, when preserved exceptionally well, can command attention and admiration. Their luster, color, and sharpness of strike are all crucial factors, each one adding to the narrative of a coin's journey through time. Some coins remain forgotten in bank rolls, sealed away from the rough wear of daily use. Others were treasured by observant individuals who sensed, even without knowing all the details, that some coins deserved a fate better than anonymity. Imagining the life of a 1984 1-cent coin is like imagining the passage of an American era. Perhaps one was used to by a newspaper announcing major world events. Perhaps another jingled in a young child's piggy bank, a tiny building block of dreams. Perhaps one was given in change at a bustling corner store, tucked into the pocket of someone racing off to meet destiny. These pennies were part of daily American life, ordinary yet extraordinary in their ubiquity. As the years passed, and the world moved deeper into the digital age, the 1984 1-cent coin remained. Those tucked away by chance or by choice slowly began to gain recognition, their simple copper faces now seen under the discerning eyes of collectors and historians. Each coin carried whispers of the past, a breath of the 1980s preserved in metal, a tangible connection to an era that shaped the modern world. In auction houses, on collector forums, and at numismatic conventions, the excitement surrounding the 1984 1-cent coin continues to grow. Bidding wars erupt over pristine examples, and stories circulate of lucky finds. Individuals who stumbled upon a fortune hidden in an old jar of coins, a forgotten roll purchased at a bank sale, a childhood collection rediscovered after decades in an attic. The magic of the 1984 penny is not just in its material or even in its design. It's in the dreams it awakens. Dreams that an ordinary person might hold in their hand, not just a coin, but a story, a bridge between generations, a slice of history, a piece of fortune waiting to be recognized. Today, certain 1984 USA 1-cent coins, depending on their condition and specific variety, can fetch staggering sums. An average specimen might be worth a few dollars, but those rare double-die varieties, especially in mint state, can reach incredible prices. It's not uncommon to see these coins command between $20,000 and $130,000 at auction, depending on their rarity, quality, and the fierce desires of collectors vying to own a piece of numismatic history. Imagine pulling out a dusty coin folder, flipping through the pages, and spotting a 1984 penny with a tiny extra curve on Lincoln's ear. Imagine the rush of discovery, the realization that this overlooked artifact could fund a college education, pay off debts, or change a family's fortunes. It's moments like these that make coin collecting so thrilling, so intoxicating, because the next big discovery could happen to anyone, anywhere. This is the story of the 1984 1-cent coin, a simple artifact born in an extraordinary time, carrying within its tiny copper frame the dreams of a nation and the hopes of countless collectors. It reminds us that even the smallest, most ordinary things can hold unimaginable value, and that sometimes the past hides its treasures in the plainest places, just waiting for someone curious enough to look a little closer. In the year 1968, a turbulent yet transformative chapter in American history, a simple copper coin emerged from the mints, slipping almost unnoticed into the pockets of a nation in flux. The Vietnam War raged overseas, protests filled the streets, and a wave of cultural change swept across the United States. In the midst of such upheaval, the 1968 1-cent coin found its way into the daily transactions of millions, quietly becoming a silent witness to a nation wrestling with its identity and future. The 1968 Lincoln cent continued the proud legacy of Victor David Brenner's iconic design, first introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Despite the decades that had passed, Lincoln's resolute profile remained a steadfast symbol of American ideals. In 1968, this image held particular resonance. In a year marked by tragedy, the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy, and the escalating tensions surrounding civil rights, the enduring face of Lincoln represented the unyielding hope for unity and equality. Struck primarily in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, the 1968 1-cent coin featured subtle yet significant variations that would, in later years, capture the fascination of collectors. For the first time since 1955, the Philadelphia Mint produced cents bearing no mint mark, while Denver and San Francisco coins proudly bore the D and S, respectively. Yet among these coins, it was the issues from San Francisco that would become particularly coveted, not just for their mint marks, but for the mysteries they carried, the infamous double dies that turned everyday coins into numismatic treasures. The art of coin minting in 1968 reflected the technological capabilities and limitations of the time. Master hubs and working dies, crafted through manual and mechanical processes, occasionally resulted in imperfections. Some so slight they escaped detection, others so pronounced they became legendary. A few precious 1968 Lincoln cents displayed a dramatic doubling on the obverse, most notably on the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 1968. These double-die obverse errors would later become among the most sought-after coins in American numismatics. To imagine the journey of a 1968 1-cent coin is to trace the lifelines of countless Americans during an era of uncertainty and hope. Some coins clinked across diner countertops, buying cups of coffee as young men nervously awaited news from draft boards. Others rested in church collection plates, dropped in solemn prayer for peace. Still others slipped into children's piggy banks, tiny tokens of a generation determined to build a better future. While the average 1968 penny was destined for a life of wear and tear, a rare few would avoid the inevitable scratches, discoloration, and degradation that come with circulation. These lucky survivors, tucked away in rolls, sets, or private hoards, retained their original luster and sharp strikes, making them prime candidates for collectors decades later. The quality of a 1968 cent's preservation, its color, strike, and absence of blemishes, could mean the difference between a coin worth a penny and one commanding thousands at auction. The grading of 1968 Lincoln cents, like all coins, is both an art and a science. Mint state grades, particularly those MS65 and above, represent coins with superb eye appeal, flawless or near-flawless surfaces, vibrant red color, and sharp design details. Among these, full red examples from the San Francisco Mint, especially those displaying the famous double die obverse, have achieved legendary status, sometimes fetching sums between $20,000 and $150,000 depending on demand and condition. Beyond errors and condition, the 1968 penny tells a deeper story, a story of resilience. The very metal of the coin, composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, carries within it the essence of endurance. Copper, like the American spirit, weathers storms and emerges stronger, its patina deepening with the passage of time. Each 1968 cent, in its own way, holds a mirror to the perseverance of a generation that faced wars, protests, assassinations, and seismic cultural shifts, yet pressed forward in pursuit of a more perfect union. As collectors hunt for these coins today, they seek more than just metal. They seek a connection to the past, a tangible link to grandparents' stories, black and white television broadcasts, Beatles records spinning on turntables, and moonshot dreams. They seek the thrill of the hunt, the magic of discovery, and the quiet hope that something extraordinary might be hiding in the most ordinary of places. A shoebox under the bed, a jar of change forgotten on a shelf, a childhood collection left untouched for decades. Auction houses have seen spirited battles over the finest 1968 cents, particularly those with eye-popping doubling or flawless mint red coloration. Tales abound of lucky individuals finding rare specimens tucked in bank rolls purchased for face value, their simple curiosity rewarded with life-changing treasure. It is this possibility, the chance that the next great find lies just around the corner, that keeps collectors searching, keeps hearts racing with every penny flipped under the light. And in the end, this is the true beauty of the 1968 1-cent coin. It is more than money, it is memory. It is a time capsule small enough to fit in the palm of your hand, yet vast enough to hold the dreams, struggles, and triumphs of a pivotal era. Whether gracing a simple collector's album or commanding attention in a world-class numismatic collection, the 1968 penny carries with it the weight of history, the shimmer of hope, and the eternal promise that within the simplest things, the greatest stories are found. In the year 2008, America found itself on the cusp of tremendous change. The winds of history stirred as the nation braced for a new era, a time defined by hope, uncertainty, and resilience. Against this backdrop, as millions lined up to vote, as financial markets trembled, and as everyday people clung to optimism, a small copper-plated zinc coin rolled off the presses at the Denver Mint. The 2008 Lincoln cent, unassuming and humble, it entered the flow of commerce unnoticed, a tiny testament to a country's enduring traditions even amid monumental shifts. The 2008 Lincoln penny carried the familiar visage of Abraham Lincoln, steadfast and serene, just as Victor David Brenner had envisioned nearly a century before. Lincoln's image, a beacon of unity and perseverance, seemed especially poignant in 2008 as the United States grappled with economic turmoil, political transformation, and the weight of past promises still unfulfilled. Beneath Lincoln's portrait, the date, 2008, stood proudly, alongside the small yet significant D. Mint mark, denoting its birth in the historic Denver Mint nestled against the Rockies. Though billions of Lincoln cents were minted in 2008, each one carried with it the legacy of a design that had graced the nation's currency longer than any other. What most who handled these coins did not realize, however, was that they were witnessing the end of an era. Just 1 year later, the familiar Lincoln Memorial Reverse, introduced in 1959 to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday, would be retired, making the 2008 D-penny one of the last issues to feature this enduring symbol. The reverse design, created by Frank Gasparo, depicted the Grand Lincoln Memorial in intricate detail. Peering closely, one could even see the faint image of Lincoln seated inside, an astonishing feat of miniature engraving. The words, "United States of America," arched across the top, while the national motto, "E pluribus unum," rested just above the memorial. Beneath, the denomination, 1 cent, stood as a reminder of the coin's simple yet vital role in everyday American life. In Denver, skilled technicians oversaw the massive task of striking millions of these cents, each struck from dies prepared with precision and care. Yet, as always, imperfections crept into the process. Variations in die polishing, minor doubling, and subtle shifts during striking would create unique coins, anomalies that decades later would capture the attention and imagination of collectors hunting for hidden treasures among the common. Among the 2008 D-pennies, a small fraction stood out due to remarkable mint errors. Off-center strikes, die cracks, and even rare double die obverse examples appeared, their existence a thrilling surprise to sharp-eyed collectors. Such anomalies turned an otherwise ordinary coin into a rare and valuable artifact, sparking fierce competition at auctions and coin shows across the country. Beyond errors, condition became king in determining a coin's desirability. Most pennies entered circulation almost immediately, enduring scratches, discoloration, and general wear. Yet a precious few were preserved in pristine condition, tucked away by collectors, accidentally lost in drawers, or sealed in original bank rolls. These gleaming examples, graded at the lofty heights of MS-67 red or higher by professional grading services, represented the absolute best survivors of their generation. A flawless 2008 D-cent in brilliant red, free of spots, marks, and imperfections, stood not just as a coin, but as a work of art, an enduring tribute to American craftsmanship and history. As years passed, these premium examples became increasingly rare, their values rising steadily as collectors recognized their scarcity and significance. The emotional connection to the 2008 D-penny ran deeper than numismatics. For many, it symbolized a pivotal moment in their personal lives, their first vote in a historic election, the birth of a child, the loss of a job during the Great Recession, or the resilience needed to endure hard times. The coin, humble and small, encapsulated stories of hope, fear, and perseverance that transcended its monetary worth. Every collector who cherishes a 2008 D Lincoln cent treasures not just the metal, but the memories it represents. In coin shops, stories abound of collectors stumbling upon near-perfect specimens tucked within change jars or inherited collections. Some recount finding stunning mint-state coins in the most unlikely places, forgotten in coffee cans, hidden among piles of everyday change, patiently waiting for discovery. The search for high-grade 2008 D-cents became a passion for many. Tools in hand, magnifying glasses, grading books, and fluorescent lights, collectors scoured thousands of coins, examining each subtle detail, the sharpness of Lincoln's coat, the clarity of the memorial's columns, the fullness of the wheat ears in Lincoln's hair. Each coin inspected was a potential hidden gem, each roll unwrapped a possible lottery ticket of history, and Fortune.as auction houses began listing pristine examples. The world took notice. Bidding wars erupted over MS-68 red specimens, their flawless surfaces glowing under the auction lights. What once passed unnoticed through countless hands now commanded thousands of dollars, testament to the notion that beauty and rarity often hide in the most ordinary of places. The growing value of the 2008 D-penny reflects more than market dynamics. It reflects an appreciation for the quiet dignity of the American story. It tells of a nation constantly evolving, facing new challenges, yet rooted firmly in traditions that stretch back centuries. Each preserved 2008 D-cent whispers a tale of endurance, a fragment of the American mosaic captured forever in copper and zinc. In the years to come, as memories of 2008 fade into the annals of history, the coins minted during that time will continue to speak. They will speak of the people who faced uncertain futures with courage, who dared to dream of change, who found strength in unity and resolve in adversity. They will speak to future generations of the value of perseverance, the importance of memory, and the beauty of the small things that shape our world. And so, we come to the heart of the matter, the astonishing value of this small yet mighty coin. While most 2000 AD cents are still worth face value, those rare examples preserved in flawless mint state red, especially with unique errors, have soared in value, ranging from a respectable $10,000 to an astounding $70,000 at auction. For those lucky enough to uncover such a treasure, the reward is not merely financial. It is the thrill of holding a piece of history, of finding greatness in the ordinary, and of preserving a story that deserves to be told for generations to come.